All right, I've got I think a fun one today. I've got a lot of thoughts running through my head right now, and but it's all good. It's a good feeling. But I want to share a story of what's kind of transpired over the last 24 hours. Yesterday morning, I had a conversation with my brother Doug, and we were catching up. Hadn't had a chance to talk to him in a few weeks. Doug is a pivotal person in my life that helped provide some coaching and some help in his 21 days of gratitude that he had put together was pivotal in my journey in getting to where I'm at right now. And so we were having a conversation, kind of catching up on a few things going on, and a lot of things we talked about. Well, one of the things that I want to talk about in this video was I have recently kind of had some fun building my own coach using ChatGPT, and just have a free account. I'm just messing with it. I'm not very skilled at AI yet. I'm just trying to listen to other people's advice here and there and see what I can do with it. And but I took a prompt that somebody gave that was out there in regards to, you know, using ChatGPT as a coach. It wasn't really in alignment with what I wanted, and so I tweaked it. And I tried it, and it kind of talked some shit to me. So I had to tweak it to build it for me. I had to build it so that it would be in alignment with supporting what I'm trying to go through right now. And so I made some tweaks to it, and I decided to build my coach as someone who was kind of using the teachings of Joe Dispenza and Peter Crone, because those are two individuals that I really get a lot from their messages. And so I built that, and then long story short, I actually asked my coach, I said, help me define my purpose. And I said, you know, ask me 50 questions one at a time to help me get to what to really define my purpose, because I've been a little bit lost. I've gone down this path towards gratitude. Gratitude has led me to a relationship with God. Having a relationship with God has led me to prayer and reading the Bible. And so I've been in this spiritual journey, and this trying to understand where it's all leading me and where it's going to go. And I've been trying to figure that out. So I wanted my AI coach to help guide me there. And so one of the questions, this was probably question number 18. We've dove into a lot of topics, and but I really like this question. He's like, imagine that you are about to get up and have a TED Talk, and I want to know what your conversation would be about. Talk me through what your TED Talk conversation would be. That's an awesome question coming from a AI coach. I loved it. And it took me off guard. Honestly, I was like, oh shit, like nobody's ever asked me something like that before. And like my initial just response in my head is like, I have no idea. What am I gonna talk about? And then I stopped. I probably took about, you know, I've been trying to be intentional with giving answers and not taking too long. And so I maybe stopped after like 30 seconds to a minute, and I said a prayer, and I said, dear God, I'm about ready to go on stage and do a TED Talk, and I need your guidance and wisdom to guide me into a message that is powerful and that resonates with people, and that's something that people can use and allowed to help them in their journey. And you know, to that effect, like that's what I wanted to envision myself as about to go on stage at a TED Talk. And so the immediate thing that came to my mind was gratitude. Gratitude is what has led me to being here right now. And so when I think about my path through gratitude, one of the things that I have mentioned to my wife, and I talked to Doug a couple times about it, mentioned to him again yesterday, is gratitude for me is, it can't be like a casual relationship. Gratitude has to be your best friend. Like, you've got to talk to it every day. You got to wake up and be like, hey, like, I want to get in touch with you and like tell you what's going on and tell you like all the things I'm thankful for each day in my life. And really be like, again, you got to be best friends with it. You got to have a loving relationship with it. It's got to be someone who you want to talk to every day, and thinking about that kind of, thinking about that relationship and like how you can do it. And like, can't be like a situation where you're like, hey, yeah, I'm grateful. Like, it can't be just like somebody casual on the street or like, hey, hello, how are you? It has to be somebody who you're intentionally calling up every day and having that conversation with. And that's what got me to this point, was really diving into gratitude, writing 10 like long sentences, I won't say each day, but like I probably did over 1,200 gratitudes over the last year. That has kind of started leaning me into a different direction. And like I've said before, it has led me into a relationship with God, because one of the things that my brother built with that 21 days of gratitude is to start off with everything you're saying is, God, thank you. And I wasn't a religious person. Never been a really religious person prior to. I go to church with my wife, who's Catholic, but I've never felt connected with religion, which has also made me potentially question a relationship with God or understanding it. This allowed me to have a relationship with God and feel good about it and start to pray. And so, like, it's been awesome. And so I feel passionate about gratitude and where it's led me. And so I typed my response into ChatGPT and said, hey, here's what gratitude has done. This is what my conversation is about. This is what I would talk about as far as the relationship and how you got to be best friends with gratitude. It can't be a casual relationship, and kind of talking through that. And the response I got from my ChatGPT coach was pretty amazing. And I don't have it here with me, but I wanted to share it with Doug, and so I copied and pasted and shared it with him yesterday, and it was awesome. It was one of the most supportive messages I've ever received from anything or anybody in my life, and it felt good. It felt good. Now, I created it, so I created something that would support me, but it's it feels good to be supportive on like a belief. And I wanted to share it with Doug because he's the reason why I kind of went down that path. And then after that, kind of going into more stuff of like having that conversation, I love listening to positive messages. I listen to, along with my Joe Dispenza stuff, I do listen to religious messages, and there is a channel called, I think it's called Daily Jesus Devotionals, and I love listening to that as well. They're very powerful. I've listened to several of them over the last couple months, and I listened to one this morning, and lo and behold, it was the same message, but replacing gratitude with God. And obviously, I had lots of light bulbs going off and stuff, and it's like, to me, it was almost like gratitude and God can almost be interchangeable in so many ways. And for some people, maybe that doesn't sound right or sounds a little off, but the message that I heard was like, hey, when you have a relationship with God, it can't be casual. It can't be, you really have to be best friends with God. You got to dive into it. You got to talk every day. You got to have these messages. You got to depend on God. And so that the relationship with God is just as powerful as what I have felt my relationship with gratitude needed to be, and my message to people, you know, who would want to hear that about, hey, you know, think about gratitude and have that relationship. Hey, I'm sure that's not a brand new message, that as far as like having a casual relationship with God versus a devoted, really best friend relationship with God. I'm sure that's been said before. I had never put the pieces together like I did before I put the pieces together with what I felt about gratitude to now it being interchangeable with God. And it was awesome. It felt great. And as I listened to that entire video, which they usually last around 30 to 35 minutes, there was so much good information that like feels so close to what I'm going through right now and that I could relate with. And you know, I'll throw an amen in some of those comments here and there, but today I felt so strongly about the message that I put a longer comment in there, and like I honestly felt like it led me to the exploration of baptism for me. And I've been trying to find this balance of, you know, what do I believe between, you know, really believing in, I know I believe in God, and I am seeking a relationship with the Bible and with the teachings of Jesus, and I'm trying to understand that, and I still have little things that I'm trying to figure out with that. And then I have other influences that are similar to, you know, believing in God, that are, you know, about just changing your energy and changing your thoughts and becoming the best version of yourself, to step into the best version of yourself in order to change your life in such a positive way. I believe in that too, from just a scientific, you know, explanation. I think all of it is powerful. And I want to combine them both. I feel like from my perspective, and this is where I get lost, because it's like, hey, if I walked into the Catholic church that we go to today, and I said, hey, I'm interested in getting baptized, but these are my beliefs, is that really in true alignment with what a Catholic would believe, or any other Christian religion per se? I don't know. I don't know. And I want to be authentic. I want to be me. I want to be the version that can kind of step into this, have a relationship with God, believe in the teachings of Jesus, but also believe in just stepping into the best version of yourself and seeing the magic happen. So it'll be an interesting path for me, but I'm excited. I'm really seeing a lot of positive things happen, you know, coming together. And there's always a few little things that I'm still like, hey, when's this gonna happen? But I'm really loving the journey, and it's been fun. So I wanted to share that. I think hopefully, you know, this time and this moment in my life will be something that I will look back on and just have so many memories of in such a fond way. And so I'm excited, and I wanted to share it. So thank you guys if you had a chance to listen to this. Again, I don't know who's going to watch this. I have maybe 3 subscribers right now, but I said in the beginning when I started this channel that I don't care if people watch this. This is for me. This is for my daughters when they grow up, and for my 3rd child who will watch it and know that, like, hey, 2 months before you arrived, Dad was going through this process, and you know, hopefully you got to meet the best version of me that you could. So you know, I would love to hear if you guys have comments. I'll respond. Would love to hear your feedback. So thank you. Love everybody. Have a great day.